allegiance to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
George,
Here.
Julie. Here. Kristen. Here. And Nancy must be absent, huh? And Eileen here.
That's record show we have a quorum. Approval of the April 6th regular meeting.
I make a motion to approve the April 6th regular meeting minutes.
Have a support?
I'll support.
Moved and supported that we approve the regular meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of the April 12th special meeting.
I move that we approve the minutes of the special meeting, where we met with the insurance company.
I'll support that.
It's moved and supported that we accept the April 12th meeting, special meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approval of the April 12th special meeting for,
It was for the, community building. I move that we approve the minutes of the special meeting in regards to the, community building.
I'll support that.
moved and supported that we approve the special meeting for the community building on April 12th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Treasurer's report.
I make a motion to approve the treasurer's report and I place it on file.
I support that.
Moved and supported that we put the treasurer's report on file. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public comment. There's no public comment. We have a gentleman here from the Parks Commission.
Sure. I want to kind of.
Yeah.
I just want, I'm Bill Routledge, County Commissioner, District 7. I don't get out this way very often. You know, you guys do a good job. We work well together. I'm running unopposed for re-election for my 7th term. And I just want you folks to know that I represent all of you as well as District 7. So I do conduct business from time to time with your board, but I just want to say hello and that's it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill.
I don't know if this would be appropriate. There was someone posted something on one of the Facebook things about asbestos and a fine, and it was real confusing. Did the township have to pay a fine?
No, we haven't, but I've got that in the minutes to bring it
Okay,
to,
okay,
to update the board and everything that transpired with it, Gary.
okay, thank you.
Shelley?
Is this a time when I can have a public comment on anything?
Right,
All right.
right now in public comment.
Okay, so I'm here basically to thank the 4 of you for the job that you do for all of us. There are lots of people in this community that thank everything that you do, especially the stuff that you do that goes above and beyond your normal duties. I don't think lots of people come because we have invested our votes in you, and I'm willing to re-up that this year. I'm gonna put a float in the parade, and I'm gonna put Julie's name on it, and if you would like your names added, if you're gonna re-up for your positions, I'd be more than happy to add you to that. And thank you. I know there's lots of stuff that you do, the parks, the weeding, the cemetery park, all that stuff looks great, and this town looks a lot better because of the work you guys do, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
If there's no more public comment? Yes.
Just here to introduce myself. My name is Jason Briscoe. I'm running to be our representative at the State House. I'm not a lawyer or a politician. This is actually my first bid for public office. Just got out of the Marine Corps 2011, bought 13 acres down in Morley, used my GI Bill to start getting a criminal justice degree up at Ferris. Came to the realization that securing my daughter's future was going to require more than carrying a rifle, so I've decided to do something about it. I'm running on a very strong pro-life message. I think Michigan needs to stand up and join all the other states I'm watching who are fighting back against Roe versus Wade in the courts and in their laws. We have a Republican legislature, we have a Republican governor, they all ran on a pro-life message. It's time to hold their feet to the fire, make them actually earn our vote rather than just scare us about the Democrats. The other thing is, government's the biggest problem that I see. I think everybody recognizes that. Best way to fix it here in Michigan is to go to a part-time legislature. Instead of having full-time politicians represent us in government, which I don't see how we can possibly believe a full-time politician can represent our needs and know what our wants and desires are. Let's have just people who live and work in the community, like the board up here does, and go to Lansing part-time, represent us when we need it, come back, live and work in the community again. These folks are a lot better at knowing what the community needs and desires are than what a full-time politician in Lansing is. And when there's a problem, folks can come to meetings like this, actually reach their government, because we take all the power that's seated up at the Capitol, we bring it down to the township, county level, we bring the money down to the county levels. You can actually reach your government and petition them for grievances like we're supposed to be able to. That's it, thank you.
Thank you.
Jason, how do you spell your last name?
Briscoe, Briscoe.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more public comment? As I started to say, we have Jeff here from the Parks Commission. He's going to put on a presentation for us.
Thank you very much for allowing me to be here. My presentation is based a lot on photographs and things, so if you can't see the screen, you're welcome to pull up right here beside me or kind of try to work around a little bit if you need to see the screen a little bit better. Some of you have seen this presentation, but I think a lot of you haven't. So the purpose of my presentation is just to let our community know what's going on in our parks, what the status of our parks is, what kind of improvements we're making, what our financials look like, and what our long-term plans are for all of the different county parks. So the first slide is just what are our county parks. It's amazing to me how many people don't understand what parks we operate as a county entity. So those are Brower Park, School Section Lake Veterans Park, Marigoro, which is nearby here, Paris Park, and we operate rustic campgrounds at Tubbs and Haymarket state game areas. We also have the White Pine Valley Recreation Area, which is a 200-acre property over by Paris. It's completely undeveloped, just 200 acres with a parking lot and some different trails out there. It is open to hunting as well. And then we have our Davis Bridge boat launch, which is over in Stanwood area just outside of Brower Park for launching on the Muskegon River and the Hardy Pond. So very quickly, we'll talk about some things that we've done in the past season. These are the last year's improvements that we've made in our parks. And we started with the roads. The two most important things I feel that campers look for when they come into campgrounds are good driveways, good roads, and clean bathrooms. They're very important things to campers. So we spent almost $30,000 last year on road repairs. Some of that included culvert replacements and drainage and things along those lines. A lot of different fill dirt, a lot of grading. And then I mentioned bathrooms as well. Brower Park had a renovated bathroom at Sunny Acres when we opened last year. For a campground, I think you'd agree with the tile and the upgrades that we make to those bathrooms are fairly impressive for a campground type setting. That included over a $5,000 ventilation system that was installed into that bathroom to keep the humidity out when people are in there taking showers and things along those lines. Our big labor-intensive project last year was replacing the playground surface material at every playground in every single one of our parks. So that required our staff to go in, pull out the 6 to 8 inches of mulch that was in there, and they've all been replaced with sand at this point. We added a boat trailer parking area at Brower Park. This allows our campers to come in, launch their boats. They keep them moored in our mooring channels while they're staying with us, and instead of having to park their trailer on their campsite, they can pull it outside, park it out here in front of the park, and it keeps the campground looking a lot less cluttered. We were approved from consumers to remove 67 trees from Brower Park. We did that in the fall of last year. What we did, Brower Park has 240 campsites, and we walked every single one of those sites individually. We looked at the sites, we said, hey, this site can maybe get a pop-up on it right now, maybe a 15 or 20-foot camper, but this day and age, campers are getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year that goes by. So we looked at the trees and we said, if we take this one tree out on this site or that one tree out on that site, now we can accommodate a 40-foot unit instead of a 15 or 20-foot unit. So we went through with the approval of consumers been cleaned up, all the stumps were removed, all the fill dirt was placed in before the park opened last Friday.
I'm just curious, what was the reason for having to get Consumers?
Consumers owns the property. We lease Brower Park and Davis Bridge from Consumers. We replaced the administrative roof in Paris last year. And we continue replacing all of our signage to make sure that our brand is getting out there. Everyone recognizes what the Mecosta County parks are. All of our welcome signs and things, all of the color schemes, the logos. We did some work at our family group camp at school section, doing a lot of exterior work, painting the cabins. Drained and cleaned as best we could one of the ponds at Paris, and we hope to get the other two done this year, and hopefully get those maintained on a regular basis moving forward. We also added a White Pine Trail parking area just north of Paris. This allows anyone that's coming to utilize the White Pine Trail to park in this area for free for trail access versus in our actual Paris Park. If you're coming to do tubing or camping or things like that, our normal day use fees would apply. New mowers, essential to our operation. We worked with Ferris Welding to get some new feed pipes for some of our feed pipe locations. New plow truck that allows us to keep some of our parking lots and things like Davis Bridge and Haymarsh open a little bit later, where we have the ice fishing type crowds. We did replace swim lanes, and they're hard to see in that photo, but the swim lane lines were replaced in all of our campgrounds last year. And we received a grant for AEDs upgrades. We always had the AEDs, they're all new this season, and we do make sure we have a certified staff member in the campground at all times when we're open.
Is the Haymarsh considered one of the county parks?
Haymarsh, the camping portion is run by the county. The game area portion is run by the DNR. So
Okay.
we administer the campsite.
It's not listed in the,
Right.
so I wondered exactly what.
And then our big improvement plans, those are gonna be mostly on property that's owned by the county versus in those state game areas. We're restricted on what we can improve because they are DNR game areas.
Right.
We also offer free Wi-Fi in Paris Park now. That was new last year. And we're installing pet waste stations in our dog-friendly parks, which will be Paris and Merrill. So those are some of the improvements we made last year. I'd like to quickly talk about what are the benefits of the parks. Why are we making these improvements and how do they benefit the community? And the biggest one for me personally is that we live in a world of technology now where everyone is attached to their cell phone, they're attached to their computer, they're attached to their television. And the health and wellness aspect of the parks and getting people outdoors is priceless in my opinion. It provides opportunities for that physical activity, it improves physical and psychological health being outdoors. Leisure activities improve your mood, they reduce stress, they enhance wellness, promotes social interaction and community pride and cohesion. Conservation, we mentioned we've got the White Pine Valley Recreation Area, which is a 200-acre property. We also work with the DNR at Tubbs and at Haymarsh in a lot of different areas. When we talk about historic sites, we've got school section that's got the pavilion there that's currently being restored, the one-room schoolhouse, and we've got a lot of historic buildings at Paris at the fish hatchery. Structured community events, and that goes back into that building community cohesion, not just the events that the campground puts on. We try to put a lot of different things on throughout the year that involve the community, but we also get approached by a lot of different organizations that want to hold events in our parks, and they open those up to our community. The next 3 or 4 slides are about the economic impact of parks. How do parks contribute to the local economy? They create vibrant communities, they attract visitors, they spur business, create and expand business, and they increase property values. The term placemaking is very, very big in the parks, and that has been for the last few years. It's making sure you're connecting your local parks to all of the different businesses and to all of the different housing developments in towns, and finding ways to physically and emotionally connect the communities to the parks. Attracting visitors is a huge thing with the economic impact of parks. If you look at events such as Hot Boat, though we don't claim that as an event of ours, you know, the amount of money that brings into our county is huge. We have a Old Settlers Reunion at school section that sells out that campground every year and has a large involvement to folks that come in and spend money locally. The different music festivals locally that we hope to start having more events like that in our parks. We used to have Springtime in Paris. We'd like to bring back events like that where we're having car shows, craft shows, and all kinds of different things that involve the community and bring dollars not just to our businesses but to all the other local businesses as well. What other businesses benefit from the parks? There's a lot of them, and a huge one is dining and lodging locally. A lot of people come and utilize our parks but don't necessarily camp. We have fishing tournaments. For example, last weekend we had 43 boats for a high school fishing tournament at Brower Park. A lot of those folks stayed in local hotels. DNR Sports last year brought in 75 boats last fall. Every single one of those folks stayed in a hotel. It was a 3-day event. They rented out some of the local community kind of gathering areas. They had catered dinners and did all of that type of thing. Also different businesses as far as sales, all your tackle shops and sporting goods stores and camping gear stores and all of those things benefit from parks. And they increase property values. And again, that ties back into that placemaking. If you can connect your communities and your businesses to your parks, you can talk to the real estate folks and they'll tell you it does have a significant impact on property values. So what is placemaking? We mentioned this 2 or 3 times already. There's a brief definition on there, but a very broad definition of placemaking is this campaign right here, which I'm sure you're all very familiar with. They've turned the entire state of Michigan into a destination, a place that people want to go and experience not just the outdoors, but this campaign also relates to our businesses, our microbreweries, any other kind of tourism-related businesses that tie into this, and it's really placed Michigan atop many of the other states in the country as far as tourism. Now more to the local entity when we're talking about townships and cities and counties. The Michigan Recreation and Parks Association, now called M-Parks, is coming out with a campaign called the Come Out and Play, and theirs is related much more towards what I mentioned earlier of this world of technology. We need to get people outdoors. We need to get people playing. And this campaign is to be utilized by all of the local entities. So they've come up with logos, they've come up with theme songs, they're making all of this stuff available to local entities to start to brand Michigan as come to Pure Michigan and come out and play in our parks and be outdoors.
Your M would do better if it looked more like the Pure Michigan M.
Yeah, that's the logo that they created.
It
so
just looks like a squiggle, sorry.
That was created by the exact same person that created the Pure Michigan campaign. A few quick statistics, and these were from 2010, and I believe since that Pure Michigan campaign we're actually quite a bit higher than 11th in the nation now. But in 2010 we were 11th in the nation. Direct spending by leisure travelers is $12.6 billion. Out-of-state visitors have a substantial impact on the leisure market. Michigan is a very strong draw for camping and RVing. So that's why our parks are important. And we've shown some of the improvements we're making in our parks. But can parks also have a negative impact? If you're looking to come buy a house and the first thing you see when you're driving down the road is shingles falling off of a roof, what does that say about that community? What does it say about the upkeep of that community? It's not just sending a message about the parks in that community, it's sending a message about that community as a whole. I'm going to go through some of the kind of negative perception taking place in our parks currently. These are our pond walls at Paris. All of the concrete to some of the back, what used to be fish ponds, these are now bird ponds. The interior of our hatchery building, which we hope to be able to renovate and turn into a building to start holding wedding receptions and family reunions and all kinds of things like that in the future.
Didn't they used to do that?
They did outdoors in the outdoor pavilions, but I don't think they've ever utilized that building. That building used to have troughs running all down the middle of it, and those were removed within the last couple of years, so now it can be looked at as a wide open space versus in the past it was a very cluttered space. These are the leaks in the roof where the water's coming through in that building currently. This is where springtime in Paris used to take place, where all the shingles are falling off the roof in between the fish ponds. I think most people have seen this building a lot recently, the pavilion at school section, and from another view. This is our pavilion at school section. Is that where you want to host your family reunion, where the shingles are falling into your cheeseburgers as you're getting ready for lunch? Our beach bathrooms there. The one-room schoolhouse at school section, leaking through the roof, the bell chapel, and the roof starting to come down. These are the current bathroom conditions at our family group camp, and the lodge at our family group camp. I put this slide in to show how we compare to some of our competitors. The left slide is what we do, just as on something as simple as selling firewood. And the right slide is what our competition is doing. We've got frisbee golf courses that are no more than a 4x4 post in the ground with paint on them, and softball fields that you can't tell that there's any dirt there. It's our main bathhouse at Marogoro, and our rustic bathhouses were at Marogoro. At Marogoro, you can't get to the beach without walking through a mud puddle, and unfortunately, it's that way almost every day out of the year with the drainage issues that we have there. So, in order to get to the beach to go swimming, you get to walk through the mud.
Let's have fun.
Some of our cabins at Marogoro, tennis court facilities at Brower, and all of our parks in the very near future, we've got grills that are starting to fall off of those pedestals and fire rings that'll need replacing. So how do we change perception? What are we doing to change the perception of people that visit our parks and visit our communities? Here's some of the things we are doing this year. This was the school section bathhouse when we closed last year. This is it today. We have a new cabin partnership with the Mecosta Osceola Intermediate School District. We paid them $30,000 to build us 2 different cabins. These are 14 by 20 foot cabins, more than double the size of the existing cabins in our campgrounds. They are split bedrooms. They have a common area when you walk in the door. They will have baseboard heating in them. They'll have windows, they'll have ceiling fans, they'll have lighting, just no water. They'll have things like microwaves and refrigerators in them as well.
But there's a bathroom nearby.
There is a bathroom nearby, yes. Our roof projects. These are the before. This was within the last month and a half. This is what they look like now. That's that Marogoro you looked at a little while ago. These are our cabins now at the family group camp. We mentioned the painting work we did last year. Now they all have brand new roofs on them as well. This used to be the manager's residence at Paris 2 weeks ago. This is it today. And as I mentioned, the school section Lake Pavilion is 2/3 done towards its renovation. All of the windows have been replaced, all of the stonework is done, and they're continuing to raise funds for the roof replacement. And along with the exterior of our family group camp, when folks come in this year, we have all new bunk beds. The left is what they had when we closed last year, the right is what's installed in all of our cabins now. And we have a brand new reservation system. Makes it very, very easy for folks to get online to see what sites are available. All you do is get there, click on which park you want to go to, put the dates in, a big map shows up and tells you what's available and what's not available. You click on it, it tells you how much it'll cost you, and you pay. So it's about a 4-step process to make reservations. We have a lot more information, and we're working on uploading pictures currently of every single campsite in our system. So when you go onto this reservation system, you can click on site 42. It's going to tell you that's a 30 amp site. It's 42 feet by 40 feet. It'll fit a medium RV, and here's some photographs of it. So it'll tell you every amenity that's involved with that campsite.
But you still have a phone number.
But we also have a phone number, yes. And we are hoping to open a tube rental operation out of Paris Park this year. This one's still in the works, but we're working very hard to get this up and running for this season. So a list of those improvements. These are the budgeted improvements for 2016. if I keep reading them all, I'll lose my voice, so I'll just